Barbara. It is Wednesday, January 13th. I got my hair cut yesterday, but I did not do my podcast afterwards because I had to wear a hat to walk the dog and it was already messed up and, you know, procrastinator. But I am doing it today. I wrote some notes up, so that's my plan, to do my podcast today. So that's what I did yesterday. I was trying to think, what did I do yesterday? Well, I was out and about in the, because I got my hair cut. I went to the fish shop. Oh, I got oysters. Dennis opened them for me, and look at my beautiful cutting board. I said, oh, I need that new cutting board to cut my lemon. So that was fun. And I did do a little bit of knitting. I decided to do the braid of my archer. You know, it's got an arch and there's a braid right there. I decided to do the braid in the purple. And I did that. I've been working on the back, so I did it in the back, and I did it, 3 or 4 times till I got it right. And I'm glad I was doing the back first because I learned a lot, and there's some places where the stitches are a little uneven. I'm hoping that blocks out, but I'm not sure that it will. So I practiced on the back because it won't bother me to have them on the back. And, and I learned a lot. One thing I think I learned is that I want to do one row of the purple earlier than I did it in the back. I waited till the braid, and I want to do the row before the braid in the purple on the front, I think. And so I finished the braid, and it was very late, and I'm like, okay, I better stop. But the next thing to do is to put all those stitch markers in again, because I'm going to start doing the short rows in the back underneath that arch, because the arch goes like this, and then the short rows, And I teased about all those stitch markers after I showed you the cast on row. It looked like it had jewelry. It was all jangly with stitch markers. But those stitch markers really, really help. She's indicating where the short rows are, and it really helps. So I shouldn't have teased about the jangly because it's really helping. So my next step is to put the stitch markers in to mark the short rows for filling in underneath the arch, and that'll be in the Painted Desert. So that'll be the third color added, and that'll be fun. But I didn't really knit a lot. Well, I did that braid 3 times, so it adds up. But I am very glad I was working on the back first. And so I did a little bit of knitting, and I did do my notes for my podcast. So I am planning to podcast today. Since I had to wear my hat to walk the dog, my hair got messed up pretty quickly after I got home, so there was no particular incentive about that. She didn't cut quite as much off this time, I don't think, and so I made my appointment for 8 weeks again. So, like you care, you don't care. So it feels like I didn't get very much done, but I spent too much time on my phone, for sure. But I did do my notes, so I did make some progress towards my plans for the day. So I do really want to do the podcast. I would also like to do a little work in the living room because it's starting to bug me. That's how it works. I don't do anything till it bugs me. Luckily, Dennis has a very high tolerance for, ugh. So he doesn't get itchy because the house is dirty. He doesn't care. So we do both have the tendency to put things down and not know where they are. And, he has the rule of 3, and I've told you this. You got to own, if you need something, you have to have 3 of them, or you're not going to be able to find it in our house. And that's, a little bit kind of true. Like, you have to have 3 pairs of scissors and 3 staplers and 3, that kind of stuff. Hammers. So So we both spend a lot of time, you know, have you seen such and so? And it was just here. And, you know, we do that a lot. We frustrate ourselves a lot, you know, but we have too much stuff. We have a lot of stuff that doesn't have a place. You know, so you have it in your hand and you would put it away if it had a place, but it doesn't. That's our problem. We need to figure out the place that these things can belong, where we would go and look for them and find them. I guess that may be why you rent, you hire a professional organizer. Come and helps you figure out the place for everything. That may be. But anyway, so I might work in the living room a little bit, but I'm really planning on podcasting. I've got my stuff together. I wrote up my notes. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't figured out my prize for the winner of the Craft from Your Stash 2020 make-along that we did. I did with the wonderful Leslie from the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast. And boy, did we need that in 2020. You know, nobody wanted to go shopping and we needed to knit. So it worked out really, really well. My stash is down. I mean, I've knit a lot. I've been knitting garments for the last 2 years. So you know, I've used a lot of yarn. And it feels good and I really enjoy shopping in my stash, and it's something that I plan on continuing to do. But I have added some yarn to, you know, my collection. I'm gonna be looking for some reds and some pinks, because apparently I'm in a red and pink phase, and my stash doesn't support that new phase as well as it might other ones, although I do have the whole cubby of burgundy-ish kinds of things. So it's very close. And my new sweater is going to help in that regard. But I haven't picked the prize, the grand prize, from my stash. I have a problem because, you know, I've been podcasting for 4 years, and I have... only a couple of times gotten prize support for the giveaways and things like that from makers or whatever, which is fine. I never expected it. And the wonderful Valerie gave away 2 skeins of yarn this past December. That was so beautiful, and that was fun. That was beautiful yarn she donated, and that was so nice of her. But in general, the giveaways are from my stash, which is perfectly fine, except I'm getting to the point where I hesitate to give away yarn that I'm not in love with, and that just because which is kind of crazy, because just because I like it doesn't mean other people won't like it. Obviously, people are buying it, and whatever. Or if I'm not in love with it, I don't have anything I don't like. But I feel like if I'm not in love with it, then I don't want to give a gift that I don't like. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So, but now I've hit the spot where I don't have yarn that I like, that I'm happy to part with. So now it's become a little bit of a struggle. So I'm having a little bit of a dilemma about the prize, because I want to give a sweater's quantity of yarn. And I actually have a sweater's quantity of yarn that I'm thinking about giving away, but it's not in a color that I absolutely love. Well, yeah, it's not in the color that I absolutely love. And it's in a dark chocolate brown. It's a beautiful color. And I think that, when I think about this yarn, I think this is a cabled cardigan that you grab every single day, because it will look gorgeous and it will be warm and it'll go with everything almost. It's John Arbin, Color by Number, DK, Gorgeous Yarn, that I got by accident because I don't, user error on the Woolly Thistle website, and I ended up getting the wrong color. And so, but once I had it in my hand, I couldn't give it back. So then I just ordered the color I wanted. And so I ended up with 2 sweaters quantity of yarn. Because, you put a yarn in my hands and don't take it back. But it's a chocolate brown, and I have this idea that that's not a universally loved color, or, anyway. I think that's what the prize is going to be, this chocolate brown John Arbin, because I have another sweater's quantity of John Arbin Color by Number in a different color. And I have several cardigans in, yarn form in my stash. So I think that's what I'm going to give away, even though it's not a color that I'm madly in love with. It's a lovely yarn, and I think it would be a lovely appropriate prize. So I've been struggling with trying to figure out what the prize is. So I think I've done that. So that's good. So now, and I'm wondering if that was why I didn't want to, I was putting off podcasting, because that's a decision that has to be made, because I'm picking the winner today. And announcing the winner today on today's podcast. So I've decided I'm going to use that yarn as the prize. So, and if somebody who wins is not a big fan of brown, well, they have lots of brown DK to make hats for people or whatever they want to do with that. But it's beautiful yarn. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm wearing my Karina sweater by Isabel Kramer. This is Cloudborn yarn. I do have Cloudborn yarn. And this is a moebius cowl that I made a couple years ago. I was having mojo problems, and I ended up knitting this moebius cowl with my hand spun. Knitting with my hand spun always makes me smile. I'm working on it. You can tell that I'm working on it. But the thing with the moebius is it only has one edge, and this edge is a you know what that is? I-cord. And the thing about the moebius is I'm not remembering how. Now, there's the start and the beginning of the I-cord, and it goes all the way around, and there's only one I-cord, and it goes around, and I've lost my way in this. I have to go look at the pattern and see how it works again. But it was a very, very fun thing to knit, and I knitted it. And I don't think I even block this. I don't think I've worn it before. But I did a podcast or a vlog. I think it was a podcast where I went through my cowls and I pulled this out. And so, of course, it's been sitting on my dresser because that's how my life is, And so I saw it there, and it's not itchy. It feels good. I just need to, finish it. And I need to go look at the moebius pattern because I'm not remembering exactly how it worked, but it was really fascinating. And if you need your mojo back, I highly recommend this. I'll try to find the pattern and put it down below. I think it was even free. But I could be wrong about that because I'm not remembering so super well. So anyway, I did a little bit of knitting yesterday. I worked on the notes for my podcast and got my hair cut and ran around and went to the fish store and got my oysters. This is the second take, so I don't remember if I showed you my cutting board or not. So I'm going to show it again just in case it's finished. And today, I'm going to start on my list of things to do. And starting with the podcast. I'm going to do my podcast while this is rendering. And Well, why it's going up on YouTube. If I do my podcast while it's rendering, this won't be up for a while. But I'll be talking in my phone a lot today, and I will talk more to you later. So those are my plans. I'm taking Ora to the doctor tomorrow. She has a follow-up appointment, no problems, but it's a long way, and I volunteered to drive her, and she accepted. We had thought she was going to come over for dinner, but we're not doing that after all. Dennis has his gaming night. I forgot that when I invited her, so I'll bring her dinner so she won't have to cook. And, so we are doing what we're doing. I have my knit night tonight, and I can work on my short rows and talk to the ladies, and should be an okay day. I slept pretty well. I'm feeling pretty good. It's a little cloudy, but not menacing. And temperature's been going between 2 colors on my library, which is good because I was having too many light teal colors in a row. I'm gonna have to come up with more stitches. Christy posted picture of hers on Instagram and look beautiful, and I'm following that hashtag, and a couple of them look really beautiful. The cross stitch ones are so neat. Way neater than mine. Mine are a little but that's the nature of the beast. I think mine will look neater when I start outlining, so maybe I'll do a little stitching, except I'm right at a good spot on that sweater, and I want to add that color and go, that's part of the problem too. And then if I get, I'd have a lot more time if I got off my phone. I'm gonna let you go. Please, please, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Stay safe. Oh, I'll talk to you this afternoon. Stay safe and stay safe.